Hey guys, Jonathan Her here, and of course by the thumbnail you probably figured it out. I got a brand new camera. Roll that B-roll.
I thought I handled this so well. I know we had the right intentions, but somehow it came to an end. I was looking for a remedy. Now I better who's in front of me. I was looking for a remedy. Now I better who's in front of me. Yeah. Push you back, hold you close, start a fight, there you go. I get unstable in my bed.
So, now you've finally seen it. I've finally picked up a new camera. This is my first brand new camera. It is the Canon EOS RP, or EOS RP is the correct way of saying it. There were 5 main reasons why I really picked this up, and I'm going to go over those in this video. If you guys like the channel, as always, go ahead, like and subscribe. So let's get into it. And make sure to hit that notification bell. Starting off with the 5th, or I guess we'll start from 5 and break it down to number 1. But I'm going to go over the 5 reasons why I switched. So let's get into the 5 reasons why I switched from the Canon EOS, I guess it was Canon 77D. EOS has not really been used. It's mainly been used in the R and the RP. It's been on the cameras, they've never put it into the title per se. So that's a key factor. The 5th reason, or I guess the first one that I'll bring up, so number 5, will be usability. Now, everybody will bring up the fact that this camera doesn't have a lot of things that you may want. It doesn't have dual pixel autofocus in 4K.
No, God!
It does have 1080p, and now it has 1080p at 24 frames per second. But one of the factors is that it does it really well. It's not as, I guess the codec is not as strong as in the R, but it does 1080p at 24 frames per second, as well as 30 and 60 frames per second. No 120 in here, but it does what I need it to do, especially for YouTube videos, wedding, commercial work, and anything social media wise. So it takes care of, or checks all the boxes that I need it to check. Plus, it has a 26.2 megapixel sensor, so I can take some nice crispy thumbnails for my videos. And it helps out because I can actually take pictures of my family, primarily my kids. So that's where it kind of checks all the boxes. It's a nice, light, compact camera, and it's the first or second foray into mirrorless for Canon. Now, number 4 on the list, and this is a key factor because of the fact that I've been using used cameras for the most part. Getting a camera that I could actually afford and not break the bank was a key factor. So I had to sell my other cameras, which was the 77D, to get the EOS RP, and getting a camera on a budget. So this is essentially, in my book, EOS R on a budget. Now, mind you, you've got 4K with the rolling shutter and everything, but it does everything you need it to do, I guess, for YouTube. So it checks all the boxes once again, but it's a EOS R on a budget. It's full frame, it is Canon, it has the color science, it doesn't have C-Log, but it still checks the box. Now, number 3 on the list, and this was kind of a key factor for me, was going mirrorless. Now, everybody's going mirrorless. You've seen it from Sony, you've seen it from Nikon, Panasonic, and finally with Canon. Canon has had mirrorless, but they haven't had full frame mirrorless. You've had the M50, the M6, M5, correct me, M6 Mark II. So you've had mirrorless, but you haven't had full frame mirrorless. So the EOS R came out first, the RP was the second foray, and with the RF glass, I'm a big proponent of future-proofing yourself. So this was a huge factor for me. I wanted to future-proof myself and be able to access the RF lenses, yet still have backward compatibility with the EF and EFS lenses. That was number 3. So for number 2, clean HDMI. Now, if that doesn't ring a bell with you, let me just spell it out. I want to start doing live streams. So with live streams, you need clean HDMI. So if you look at the screen, you can see my aperture, my ISO, as well as my white balance. You can also see audio. The key factor is that I don't want to see that when I'm live streaming. I just want the image, the background, yet I still want nice clean image. I want to utilize my camera. So I want to actually start live streaming, and in order to do that, I need a camera that can do clean HDMI. And last but not least, I wanted a full frame upgrade. So I've been wanting to get a more full frame look. I wanted more depth of field, I wanted better low light performance, and I wanted a little more color. So I want the image to be better, and that's more on me than anybody else. One of the key factors, if you guys have kind of noticed, I've been messing around with color profiles to be specific, and it hasn't gone that well. It's not the camera itself, had nothing to do with the camera. It's just more so messing with a flatter profile that did not work. It lost, I guess I lost more contrast, and the image was not that sharp. I messed around utilizing tips from Matty Apoya and Peter McKinnon, and I've regained more of the sharpness. So I went back to CineStyle, and I'm using their LUT to add more of the contrast back in. So that's been the main reason why the image has kind of been here and there. But I'm getting back. Originally I was using CineStyle on the 77D, and I'm back to using it again. So if you guys actually like the content I'm producing, go ahead and make sure at this point in the video, let's go ahead and hit that like button. If you really like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to be bringing out more content. I always say that, and I think every YouTuber states that, but I'm trying to bring more content. I'm actually going to try and bring some more vlogging or behind the scenes, because I've been doing weddings and I've been adding videography. So I want to add more behind the scenes, but it's still kind of it's a new stage for me trying to add that in, and I'm gonna be very honest, I'm not very good at vlogging just yet, and I don't know if I'm going to be good, but I'm gonna bring you guys along for the ride and try and add more of a personal feel to it, and just being honest with you guys. So just be ready. I'm gonna bring out content, and hey, feel free to hit me up in the comments if you see something that could be fixed, which you guys have been pretty honest about the audio playing in the background. And you know, just be fair, be gentle, and make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. I try to respond all the time when I see a comment, and if you need help, feel free to message me on Twitter or hit me up on Instagram. I'm pretty active on Instagram, and yeah, fuddy-duddy Facebook, but hey, it does bring people in. So as always, I'm Jonathan Her, and I hope you guys will go ahead and hit that like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next. Peace.